All right, everybody, we are getting ready for the Preakness Stakes, the second jewel of the Triple Crown. It is Triple Crown season, and that means Mark Patterson is here. He's here with us all the time, off to the races. And why not? Because he is the soothsayer of soothsayers. He has the crystal ball that works better than anybody else's. And, of course, he is the I'm going to appoint him. And which he already was. He didn't need to appoint him. He is the king of Mountaineer Nation as he is ready to get going with Mountaineer, the racetrack, the casino, everything else. If you want to know about the ponies, we need to talk to Mark, and that's why you're Mark. Looking great. Good to have you back, and you come back on a bit of a heater.
Yeah, you told me that your mother, you texted me right after the Run for the Roses, Billy, and informed me, and this is really gratifying, that your mom actually knocked down a little bit of a score on that exacta or on the winner or whatever. And I was really happy about that. But I need you to caution old mom that my streaks usually stop at 1, Billy.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Everybody's warned.
You know what, though? You cut a wide swath, man. You must have just a ton of viewers out there, because I think the blurb that was used on your mainstream newscast where actually officially selected the Derby winner, sovereignty.
Yep.
You know what? I have received more positive feedback and credit for picking that one single winner than I have for doing 22 years of horse racing analysis at Mountaineer. Seriously, one winner exceeds 22 years.
Well, it's the power of digital. It's the power of the 9. And you know what the thing is, though? You're the man getting it done.
I like that.
It's the power of Mountaineer Nation, because you are on it. You're ready to go. And but here's my question. Here it is. I need to know. Do I have a chance? To cash on my favorite horse in the race already? It's not journalism. You get one guess as to which one.
You are throwing down the gauntlet very early. It's got to be number 5, Pay Billy, right?
Amen. Let's go.
You,
Hey,
sir,
Billy,
are a hunch player.
I'll tell you what. If that's a sign to me. That's one of those ones. I gotta put $10 on that.
I'm going to speak to you very frankly, my good friend.
Okay.
Save that $10 and buy yourself a beverage or two.
Okay. All right.
Buy a couple of bags of chips to inhale while you watch the Preakness, man. That 10 can be put to much better use than slapping it down on Pay Billy, because that's a donation.
Yeah, but you got to do it. I mean, it's sometimes the name is just there. You got to, you got to. Now I'm going to give you some facts. 20-1, at least that's what I saw last. 4-1-1, won 4 of his last 5 races. Local
the horse is on a roll. No question, the horse is on a roll. The class issue looms large, though, Billy. The horse doesn't win the Federico Tessio, the private terms in Maryland, although he is the native son, Pay Billy. And there's something to be said for that historically in the Preakness Stakes, because he's been competing at Laurel, which is very close to Pimlico. It's the same circuit. It's the same horseman. It's the same style of racing. But that's it. This is a huge exponential jump up in class. This is kind of like Youngstown State playing Ohio State or something like that. It's very unlikely.
You're saying there's a chance.
I'm saying if this were a college football game, Pay Billy would be a 73-point underdog to a D1 team.
So you got to take the points. You got to figure they're going to cover.
They don't give points in horse racing, my man.
I'll bet for the show and hope. I saw the name and I just thought this is going to be some fun. So,
I hate to be a killjoy, man. I really do.
No. You can't possibly be a killjoy. It's an impossibility.
One thing I dispense is realism, Billy.
It's true. It's true. All right, so it's the 2025 Preakness, Pimlico Racecourse in Baltimore. Of course, if you didn't know what Pimlico was before the movie Seabiscuit came out, everybody learned about Pimlico with the great match race, and then of course Secretariat. It's my favorite flower that they run for. The
Really?
Black-Eyed Susans. Yeah, I love Black-Eyed Susans. So I just, I like
Do you
that.
know
But
the
the thing,
song? Quick quiz. I'm putting you on the spot, dude. Do you know the Preakness song?
I
Maryland,
know
my
I'll know it
Maryland.
as soon as I hear
No,
it.
Maryland, my Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Maryland, my Maryland. You know what, though? The Preakness has considerable allure. It's one of the Triple Crown jewels. I mean, it's
Yep.
tied and it's
Yep.
locked in, so it's
Yeah.
got a built-in fan base and appeal.
Yeah.
But the festivities are dampened considerably by the absence of the Kentucky Derby winner. I
And
think
that's what I was. Yeah.
everybody that's listening is going to know that Sovereignty is not going to show up in Maryland. And you know what?
Explain something to me.
Sure.
Tell me. I've heard different reasons why.
Yeah.
I heard something about the jockey was going to be in trouble because the jockey hit the horse too many times with the crop. Then the horse wasn't fit, but they're going to be waiting for the Belmont. So what's the deal with Sovereignty? Why are we not running? I know Mott, the trainer, he was very conservative right after the race, said, we'll have to wait and see how the horse reacts to running the Derby and where they are from there. But what are you hearing? What are you seeing? Why is Sovereignty not taking a shot at the Triple Crown?
There is a push more and more every year to reformat the Triple Crown because it's just too strenuous for still developing 3-year-olds. You're talking about 3 Grade 1 races. Road to Immortality, so it's very tempting for horsemen to get their runners up to 1.25 miles early in May, and it's just very tough on them. There's a rigorous training schedule, preparation that's involved, and it takes quite a toll on these young horses, Billy. And more, they're just not able to come back in 2 weeks after the Run for the Roses because the Kentucky Derby, the be-all, the end-all of American horse racing, but the attrition rate is incredible. Do you know that Sovereignty will be the fifth Derby winner to not make the scene in Maryland? So a lot of people think the races should be better spaced out a month apart. For me, it's part of the charm of the Triple Crown because it's a stiff test. A very stiff test. But thoroughbred horses are less durable than they were, Billy. I looked up a stat last night, and between 1960 and 2000, only one Derby winner failed to run in the Preakness Stakes. Now, the Derby winners obviously are going to be pointed for the Preakness because the Triple Crown and the offing, potential immortality, that's the big story. So when they defect, when they don't show, when they pass on the Preakness, you can bet the horse is feeling some ill effects from the Kentucky Derby. You know what? And again, from 1960 to 2000, only like 1 or 2 Derby winners did not make the Preakness. But I think it's not a good sign about the modern durability of the thoroughbred racehorse. And there are a lot of theories on this, that this will be the 5th Derby winner in the last 7 years to not make it. Now, Bill Mott says, and he is a horseman's horseman, not a guy that's going to be dragged into the hype. To just go with the Derby machine, to go with the Triple Crown machine, for the sake of the media, for the sake of the viewing public. He's going to do what's best for the racehorse. Okay, so if anybody would just pass on the Preakness for the better of his horse, for the good of his horse, it would be Bill Mott, who's not a media guy. He's a horseman's horseman. But anytime a Derby winner takes a pass on the Preakness, and again, just doesn't punch that ticket to potential immortality, I get really suspicious about the horse's condition because casual fans might think that these thoroughbreds are machines and the top class horses don't have infirmities, don't have physical problems. They do, Billy, just like cheap horses. They truly do. So who knows what is up with Sovereignty behind the scenes. Hopefully he's A-OK and it's going to point for the Belmont and enhance the 3rd jewel of the Triple Crown. But I'm a little skeptical right now.
All right. Now I need to ask you, you mentioned that some people want to reconfigure the Triple Crown races, maybe make it a month apart.
I'm a purist.
But as you mentioned, it's a stern test. I mean, it's 2 weeks after the Derby, it's the Preakness, and then 3. Now, if they switch to that format, would I think some people would probably say you're watering down the worth of the Triple Crown. But you get if you get all the horses in there, you have an opportunity to see maybe more Triple Crowns and see the best horses be ready to run and not be in a situation where they might compromise themselves. What do you think? Would you like to see that spread out. It's kind of like the majors in golf. Masters is in April. A month later, the PGA. A month later, the U.S. Open. A month later, the Open Championship in England or the UK, wherever. Would you like to see it a month apart?
I'm a purist, Billy. I want it to stay as it is. It's just a great tradition in American sports. The Preakness would benefit, though, from more spacing because top flight trainers don't want to run top flight thoroughbreds back in just 2 weeks. That is very, very short rest. So the Preakness suffers from Derby attrition. It truly does. The Preakness is kind of like the forgotten middle child of the Triple Crown jewels.
Yeah.
It's the Jan Brady of 3-year-old stakes. Billy, if the Preakness could talk, it would say 3 words: Derby, Derby, Derby.
Yep. I like it.
Marsha,
Just like
Marsha,
Marsha.
I know you're a Brady Bunch fan, Billy.
Oh, absolutely. The
big losers here are track management, the racing people at Pimlico, because believe me, they put a positive face on it. We're still good. We got a great horse race. We respect Bill Mott's decision with Sovereignty, but you can bet they are crying inside. And I know this from being chief recruiter for a long time for our own preeminent stakes, signature stakes, the West Virginia Derby. When you don't get the big horse, your world comes crashing down, Billy.
Oh, and I would imagine the TV executives at NBC that pumped a whole lot of money into it. That's got to be disappointing for them. But anyways, Sovereignty's not there. We'll wait and see if Sovereignty's there for the Belmont. So Sovereignty's out. Journalism is back. So let's break down the 9-horse field. You have 9 horses. Let's see. Goal oriented looks like it's going out of the number 1 position.
Yeah.
Journalism's 2, 3 American Promise. So you have Derby horses in the race.
Yes.
Heart of Honor is going from 4. Pay Billy. Yeah, the number 5. Here we go. Pay Billy 20-1. Put the money down.
You go,
everybody.
guy. You go.
Let's see. 6, the River Thames. I believe that's how we're going to go with that. Todd Pletcher is going to be the trainer there. 7 is Sandman, back from the Derby. Then 8 is Clever again. And 9 is, I'm not sure how to say that, Goshker? I'm not sure. It's a 21 long shot. It's not going to beat Pay Billy, so don't worry about it.
I got a bone to pick with you, Mr. TV9, with a huge audience.
Okay.
You know what? You caused me considerable consternation because I have taken heat from so many people for referring to the Derby as just another horse race. And you called me out on it, maybe rightfully so. But you can't believe the grief that I have taken over that, my man. If I could just somehow retract that comment, I'd be a happy man, Billy.
I agree with you to a certain extent. I mean, but the thing is, like when the West Virginia Derby comes, it may be race number 10, but it's got the big trophy. It's got the big fanfare. It's got Mountaineer Nation. And it's like the Kentucky, the same thing. And the Preakness,
so,
I look at the Preakness as this is how I look at the Preakness. I love the Preakness, but I just feel there's a grittiness to it. It's like you've got the beautiful Kentucky, the Twin Spires, the Roses, the whole thing. Belmont's the big, sophisticated, big time city. Baltimore, it's like, we're here, baby. Let's get it on. Let's just go race. Just a little bit more of a gritty feel to it, and I like it. And I think it's one of those. It's a fun race, and a lot of people, I think, like you said, I think they miss it because it's the middle child.
With my pouty disclaimer out of the way, Billy, I'm going to double down and refer to the Preakness as just another horse race. Okay, bring it, Daddy. Bring it. The Preakness is just another horse race. It's almost like the Derby with all the pomp, the circumstance, the ceremony, 89 speed horses and a crazed dash to the first turn that want to collapse by the time the field turns for home. Complete pace meltdown every freaking year. And every closer in town comes flying. Okay, the Derby does take the aforementioned toll that I went into in detail a couple of minutes ago. So due to the Derby's attrition, it's almost like the Preakness says, okay, let's get that crap aside. Now let's stage a real horse race, boys. Now let's have an actual horse race. Let's winnow the field down to a manageable number to where there aren't these incredible traffic issues like the charge of the light brigade or something like that, where we don't have 89 speed horses They're going to go out there to breakneck pace and eliminate each other. We're actually going to have a horse race, which is a true test of these 3-year-old thoroughbreds. And the best horse, hopefully, can actually win the Preakness Stakes.
Okay, so
It's just another horse race, Billy.
Yeah, it's just another horse race, especially if you put money on it. It's just another horse race because you can lose that money or win that money. Journalism 8-5 is the heavy favorite. Rallied from 11th, had the lead, and then Sovereignty ran him down. But a horse that I think everybody thinks is going to get the job done this week. And then Sandman 4-1 is he's 7th in the Derby. People like what Sandman can do, but 2 horses that seem like they're getting a lot of attention. A Bob Baffert horse with Flavian Pratt. You've got Goal Oriented and Clever again, or Clever. What did I write down? 5-1. So those seem like the horses that people are most interested in going. What are you looking at? What do you see in your crystal ball?
First off, my man, please do not bring that noise about the Metallica song again. I'm trying to talk Sandman up, okay? The horse was found wanting, didn't have the quality. His wins were a product of circumstance, rapid paces that melted down. I'm
looking at the odds that I saw today. 4-1 is where he's at. So it's a pretty good, that's not a bad number, because 8-5, you've got to bet some serious money to make a little bit back.
Yeah, they started that stuff on the Derby telecast too, and I'm like astonished because Metallica can't run, Billy. The horse actually has to do it. Sandman. And just to summarize and revisit my pre-Kentucky Derby commentary, Sandman in his Grade 1 win. And class-wise, he's top tier in this Preakness because I think, along with journalism, he's the only Grade 1 winner signed on for this, okay? But his Grade 1 win was a little bit bogus because the race ensued at a breakneck pace. Sandman stayed way back, avoided the fray, and kind of jogged by beaten horses at the 11th hour. I think he was exposed in the Kentucky Derby. I don't think he's anywhere near journalism's league.
All right, well, how about Goal Oriented with Bob Baffert, and he knows how to win some races. And Pratt's on the horse, a great jockey. And again, are those 2 horses worth looking at, or do you not consider them quality enough to make a charge?
Baffert, the silver-haired one, I guess it's gray now, huh? Might be more vaunted for his Kentucky Derby success than for his Triple Crown winners like an American Pharoah and a Justify. But very quietly, in a sense, if Bob Baffert could do anything quietly, he's won 8 Preaknesses. So he's got this dialed in. It is said that Goal Oriented, the one horse in this edition of the Preakness, who competed and won on the Churchill Downs Derby undercard. Okay, so he was an obvious understudy for the more ballyhooed Baffert horses in there. But the thing is, Baffert has won the Preakness before with his 3rd and 4th teamers. His bench is that deep, Billy. National Treasure a couple of years ago was an upset in the Preakness Stakes. Baffert has this dialed in, knows how to target the Preakness, but this was not his preferred entrant. Had things gone better than his more ballyhooed Derby horse would be here in the Preakness. That didn't happen. So he's coming with the B team now, or even the C team. But he has done this before. And I think it's really obvious what he's going to try here. Baffert is a speed-oriented trainer because he has most of the success on the Southern California circuit, where the tracks are pasteboard, where horses run incredibly fast at all the fractions, and where to get the lead is more than half the battle. So his clients buy horses that are bred for speed. Baffert tunes them up for early speed. So it's no mystery that he's going to try Grand Theft horse race here with Goal Oriented. He wants to hit journalism where journalism is not, and that's right out on the engine, right on the lead with the Goal Oriented. We're getting tongue-tied here. Who did win and win impressively on the Kentucky Derby undercard.
Yep, I watched the races. They had some really good races, some interesting races. I think the weather is supposed to be decent this weekend in Baltimore. I hope. Now, anybody else? Does American Promise do anything for you with Dean Wayne Lucas 16th at the Derby? That doesn't really bode well for anything that you want to get into there.
No, I love Dean Wayne Lucas behind the scenes. and I
Yeah.
learned this in my recruiting efforts for our West Virginia Derby. I'm giving us another plug there. I'm
That's
sneaking it
okay.
in, Billy. Lucas is a great guy, media savvy and really easy to deal with. But at this stage of his career, my man likes to don the legendary sunglasses, dress
Yeah.
PQ with the tailored gray haircut, the razor cut, and get on television. Okay. And I'm trying to say in a nice way, he doesn't belong in the Preakness with his horse.
Yeah.
He
All
likes
right.
the media attention, Billy.
Oh, hey, that's he knows if you're selling, you're selling. He knows how to do that. All right. So
Hey, the guy who's won so many West Virginia Derbies has a bona fide chance in it, Billy. Clever Again, number 8.
Yeah.
Clever Again ran a big number last time. And the measurement of final time, sophisticated measurement of final time, which is it's the gold standard in thoroughbred racing. It's called the Beyer Speed Figs. And Clever Again on the vaunted Beyer scale is one of just 2 horses in there to ever triple digit along with Journalism. Clever Again put up that number last time. Now, sometimes there's a phenomenon, especially with young horses, that run lights out called the bounce, which is just an insider's way of saying he's probably going to feel the effects of that effort. He's probably going to regress. But if Clever Again, off that tour de force last time at Oaklawn Park, can get the lead with relative ease from the one horse who is going to be sent hard from the inside post, I think the post position dictates an aggressive strategy with the Baffert horse. Remember the speed-oriented nature of the Baffert horses. But if Clever Again, who's got a clashing style with the one horse, can get the lead with relative ease, the jock's able to conserve some energy, and he doesn't regress off that huge number he put up last time. I think Steve Asmussen, who's won the Preakness twice, has a chance here with Clever Again.
All right, here we go. We're gonna break it down right here. I need your top 3. Who do you have? Winning it. Who are your top 3 or 4 if you want to take a shot at making some big money on some of the larger bets in terms
Is
of
your mom listening, Billy?
Oh, absolutely. She's not going to be. She's mom's got a little bit of a gambling Jones. You know what I'm saying? She's she's going to get mad at me for that. She go, oh, great. Everybody's going to think that I'm out here just gambling everything. But she loves to watch the races, loves to put a little wager on them. So she will be listening right now, I'm sure.
So
what do you have for?
Billy, since I'm on a 1-winner roll, okay, and this is probably as good as it's going to get. Your humble correspondent here. Can I get some kind of a fanfare, some kind of a trumpet flare?
Boom. There you go.
That's good. That's very, very good. I think Journalism is an absolute standout here.
Okay.
Journalism definitely had things his way in the Kentucky Derby with a breakneck pace that set it up for him. And he was no match for Sovereignty in the final analysis. But the workmanlike Journalism showed up. He brought his A game, which he does consistently, and he's simply on a higher level than these horses. Also, something I think players should remember here is that although Journalism was back of the pack early and that mad 20-horse cavalry charge to the first turn, Journalism has some tactical speed and is highly unlikely to drop as far out of it in here. So he can, in a sense, control his own destiny by taking a forward position behind the leaders here, Journalism. And another fact I like about Journalism, and I think this is really important. Mike McCarthy very quietly took down a Preakness win a couple of years back with a long shot named Rom Bauer. So my man Mike McCarthy knows how to target the Preakness Stakes. I think Journalism is head and shoulders above this field in terms of class, in terms of performance, and I even think his running style is a lot handier to the pace than a lot of folks might assume from the Kentucky Derby. The downside of that, Billy, all this is going to be painfully obvious, and you're looking at 8-5 morning line odds right now in Journalism. Don't you believe it? He's going to go lower. You could be looking at 6-5 or even money on Journalism in this Preakness Stakes. Okay.
Now, if he's the number one and almost what you would, I guess nothing's a lock, but which horses do you see coming in place and show?
Although Todd Pletcher, and to a large extent, just for your untutored out there amongst your audience, a thoroughbred racing can be a trainer's game to a large degree. Sometimes they're even more important than the horses. And you got Todd Pletcher, the conditioner of number 6 River Thames. He's a Hall of Fame trainer, and he's won a couple of Kentucky Derbies. He's won umpteen stakes. This Todd Pletcher, he has never taken down the second jewel of the Triple Crown, which he wants to do in the worst way And River Thames last time really came to life. This horse is relatively inexperienced, but oddly enough, that's not a big deal in the Preakness, as
Hmm.
you do get winners that only have 3, 4 races worth of seasoning under their belts
Okay.
that can get the mile in 3/16 at Pimlico. River Thames last time, his grade 1 test, his acid test, stepping up in class, was handy to the pace and launched a pretty brisk finishing kick there. And this is a horse that has been just quietly improving, quietly improving. And I think he might get a dream trip here in behind what could be a disputed pace between Clever Again and
Hmm.
also the Bob Baffert horse, goal oriented from the inside. And River Thames might get first run on
Okay.
the horse is going to be a prohibitive favorite journalism here. So River Thames could be a trip winner in this Preakness Stakes. I think he's definitely a horse that you want to use on your
Okay.
verticals and your exactas and your trifectas. But do I give him a big chance, even really a puncher's chance to beat journalism?
Hmm.
Probably not. And I
Yeah.
want to refer also to the class speed in here again, the Steve Asmussen horse, Clever Again, who put up the huge buyer speed number last time at Oaklawn Park, but he is one-dimensional with the take no prisoner style. It's a little bit easier historically to win the Preakness in that manner because, again,
Mm.
that mad cavalry charge of early speed in the Derby with all those wild-eyed jocks and horses, and the
Yeah.
dash trying to get the lead and that breakneck pace that usually winnows out for the Preakness Stakes, and the race can be wired right on the head
Okay.
end. So Clever Again, I think, probably poses the most clear and present danger to journalism. But you're going to know a lot more about Clever Again's chances by the time they get to the first turn. Is he in front
Okay.
under wraps? Has the jock been able to establish the lead? Has he reached down to take Clever Again under a rating hold to conserve him? Or will Clever Again have to run very hard to get the lead
Okay.
here? So that's your first race key when you watch this Preakness Stakes.
Okay. So if these are your top three, is there a fourth that interests you, that if you were going to do you're just going to go across the board with something?
It ain't Pay Billy.
What's that?
It ain't Pay Billy.
That's disappointing.
It ain't Pay Billy. That's all I got for you, man. That's all I got for you.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna throw $10 on Pay Billy, and just if I make a donation, I make a donation. I have to. You got to Pay Billy. You got to do it. The universe is speaking
I
to
get
me.
it. I understand. That's why they call them long shots.
Yeah. And the universe is sending signals out that Pay Billy could be the. Now, if anybody listens to me about Pay Billy, please don't. Please.
You know what? Any horse player that refuses to occasionally put down a couple of bucks on a horse with unpalatably ugly past performances is never going to hit a long shot. We'll never hit a long shot.
That's true. Didn't we have what we had? That's how the term came up. Long shot. Somebody went off 80-1 or whatever it was way back when. I can't remember the name right now.
I often preach to my viewers, Billy, that if you ever want to hit a long shot, you have to learn to accept some seemingly fatal form flaw. But Pay Billy's got a lot of seemingly fatal form flaw.
Okay, so those are your top three journalism class of the field, and but now before we let you go, we got to talk a little Mountaineer. How are things shaping up? Where are we at? We're ready to get these horses on the move.
I got to say happy birthday.
Okay.
My place of employment, which has been my real home in my heart. I don't think there's any secret to anybody that watches me, that watches your podcast. I started going there when I was 8 years old, Billy, and I'm an old dude now. And I love the place so very, very deeply. And that love is spreading by virtue of the silver simulcast signal that goes wide and proliferates, Billy. You use the term Mountaineer Nation, and it just continues to grow because people feel like they're a part of something. I attempt to do not just a hardcore horse racing analysis kind of TV show. It's fan inclusive. There's some interaction where we talk about different topics, and I take their feedback and I read their text on the air. Consequently, they feel drawn to this place like a magnet. The grand tradition here, Billy. And you know what I get all the time? I don't get texts that say, Mark, who do you like in the Daily Double Sunday night? Yeah. It's always proud member of the Oregon chapter of the great Mountaineer Nation, because there is an undeniable allure to this place. And the best I could describe it, Billy, and we do celebrate a birthday here, 74 years in existence. as
Wow.
of Monday. I did some quick math in my head. I'm not real good at it. I flunked business math in the 9th grade. But that adds up to maybe about 150,000 horse races. How many
Wow.
millions and millions and millions of hoofbeats, Billy? And you can feel that tradition when you walk in the door. You might think back, Billy, when you met the right one for you, just to use an analogy, maybe in the world of romance. She was exciting to you, but also there was a comfort level there. That is Mountaineer in a nutshell. It's going to make your blood boil. It's going to make your pulse race, Billy, but you're also going to feel home when you walk in the door. Seriously, there's an ambiance there. There's just the mood of the place, which you have to be there to experience. And by the way, just to bring it right on down to earth, admission is free.
That's the best part. That's the best part. Anytime admission is free, that's good. That's good. And I'll tell you what, when next time my mom comes into town, we gotta make sure that she comes up and meets you, and we watch the horse races at Mountaineer.
Oh yeah, bring her to the studio, please.
Oh, absolutely. And the other thing is that what I may do is when I have gone up to cover the horses that are running in the West Virginia Derby and Dubs, I love going up on a Thursday morning or a Friday morning, and you just see them work the horses, sit on the rail, and watch the horses. It's just, horses are beautiful, and then just to watch them run when they're getting a workout in the morning. It's summertime, and you think, wow, it's gonna be hot. It's nice and cool in the morning. You're right there off of the river, and it's just a great place to go and watch the trainers work the horses before they get ready for a big race. And so I'm looking forward to the Mountaineer season. Looking forward to, I'm going to have Mom get her up here from North Carolina, have her come watch some races.
Yeah, forget the Metallica song "Sandman." Billy, the greatest instrumental ever has got to be "A Summer Place," Percy Faith. And Mountaineer is a summer place, and it's that time of year, baby. Cool breezes and warm summer nights out on the apron, out on the deck. It is the place to be. No question about it.
All right. Well, Mark, I can't thank you enough for joining us once again. And I just want to remind everybody, Mark going with journalism, River Thames, and Clever again, his top 3 picks for the Preakness Stakes. And then you can see that this Saturday starting at 4 o'clock on WTOV9, NBC's coverage. And then post time is at 7:01. And I'll just leave you the list. What's that?
When you pick really short priced favorites, and you got some visibility and some public recognition, Billy, they label you a chalk-eating weasel. Okay, you know what? This weasel is going to chalk it up.
Yeah.
Journalism. I'm going to lay in a pretty big bet on journalism. I'm going to eat the short odds.
Yeah. Why? Hey, if you can win, you win. It's,
That's what you're labeled, a chalk-eating weasel, because theoretically you're supposed to be a little more inventive when you got a high profile like I do, and you're picking
hey. What the people are looking for is what's going to happen, not long shots like Pay Billy. You want to make sure you get some of Pay Billy now. And Mark, I know. In
so
your
many
heart
times the trick is when not to be creative, Billy, as a third-rate bettor.
I'm telling you, Mark, you may want to put down $5 on Pay Billy. Just take a shot in the dark, just for fun, just for fun. I've got a flawed horse, a flawed theory, but he's got a name I like, so we'll see what happens. But Mark, I can't thank you enough. We'll have to get together again before the Belmont, and of course, when everything gets rolling in Mountaineer, we'll have you on a bunch of times talking about everything that's going on with Mountaineer Nation at the place people love to be to watch the ponies.
Happy birthday, Mountaineer! Mountaineer Nation forever, baby, forever.
Amen. Can't thank you enough, my friend. We'll talk to you again real soon. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Looks like we have a comment. I didn't see that comment up in the corner. Let's see.
Chalk-eating weasel.
No. Carol says, Carol's saying thank you. She's saying thank you for all the information. So, Carol, thank you for joining us and sharing that. And when we're all cashing tickets, they won't be calling you that.
Don't thank me until the info works out, Carol. But I appreciate the thought, lady.
Okay. All right, Mark. We'll talk to you next time, brother. Have a great weekend and enjoy the big race, everybody. We'll see you next time. Mark, thank you again.
Thank you, my brother.